Let's take Ganesha's permission before we talk about him. Om Gam Ganpate Namaha. Om Gam Ganpate Namaha. Om Gam Ganpate Namaha. Okay, I called him, I asked his permission, and he said, go for it. When we chant any mantra in the beginning, when we say Om is the universal code, just like every country has a code. For Ganesha, Gam is his Bij mantra, which means in this context his phone number, and Ganpate is his name, and Namah is basically Namaskar or hello. So I called him, I said, hello Ganesha, I'm going to do a video on you, can I do it? Do I have your permission? He said yes. So we have the permission. If I say something which offends you or which is not in the alignment, I apologize for that, because it's a matter of belief. So I hope I do the justice with this subject. Let's start with the parable. In spiritual circle, there is this famous parable of tiger. There was one tigress. She was pregnant and she was starving. When she saw a bunch of goats, she attacked. In the same moment when she attacked, she died. But just before she died, she delivered a baby tiger. Then this baby tiger, he started growing with these same goats. Then one fine day, another big tiger, he saw the same bunch of goats, he attacked. But just before he was about to reach near to this bunch of goats, he realized, oh, there is a baby tiger among them. Somehow he managed to go close to him. He tried to convince him that you are not a goat, you are a tiger. But he didn't believe him. So somehow he took him to the river and he made him to see the reflection of himself. And then he realized, oh, I'm not a goat, I'm a tiger. Now, in this story, we are the tiger. When we come across these mythological stories, we think these are not our story, these are the stories of gods and demons, and we are outside of these stories. So we tend to believe in these stories. Today we are talking about Ganesha. The story of Ganesha's birth is mentioned in Shiv Puran. I'll say it briefly. One day when Parvati, she was going for bathing, she created Ganesha out of her dead skin and she asked him to guard the house. And when Shiva was approaching towards the house, Ganesha stopped him. And then battle happened. Shiva beheaded Ganesha, and eventually he had to reinstall his head with elephant's head. That's the story. But when you believe in this story literally, what do we end up with? A man with Ganesha's head? Then this story doesn't take us anywhere. But when we start understanding the psychology behind the story, the real transformation begins. Then the way you perceive the world, it changes. And that's the real beginning of your spiritual journey, in my understanding. If we see the same story from Carl Jung's point of view or from a depth psychology point of view, we realize Ganesha is an archetype. Archetype called as guardian of threshold. Threshold basically means a door between known and unknown, day and night, Shiva and Shakti. In order to understand this archetype, one thing we have to realize, in the story of Shiv Puran, we are the Shiva, regardless of the gender. Now, what do I mean by this? I think every spiritual person or those people, they are on the path of spirituality, they meditate. So when you meditate, you are in this state of consciousness where I'm speaking, I'm aware of my surrounding, but I want to get to that realm where magic happens. You can call it subconscious mind or collective unconscious mind or astral world, you can call it whatever you want, but we all have aspiration to be in that realm. But what comes in between? Our own thoughts, desire, egos. Now that's what Ganesha is in this context. But when you worship Ganesha, when you make him happy, he blesses you. Then you can enter into that realm. From a physics point of view, Ganesha also becomes gravity, because when you understand the etymology of Ganesha, Ganesha means what? Gan means group, category, organs or system. Ish means lord or master. In simpler term, lord of group or master of system. So when any civil engineer, when they put any structure, first they have to worship gravity. Similarly, before we do any ritual in any culture, they have to worship this archetype. In Hinduism, we worship Ganesha. Why? Because Ganesha gives us the grounding, the gravity to hold that power which we will receive after completing the whole ritual. In yoga, when we do certain kriyas to attain our kundalini, we have to start from Muladhara. This is where Ganesha lives. Now, when you see the characteristics of Muladhara, when your energy is stuck there, you have this feeling of shame, you have this feeling of incompleteness. The reason why I am bare body, the upper body is bare, because for me, when I'm recording such videos, I want to be bare body. It's a symbolism of authenticity. It's symbolism of radical self-honesty and self-acceptance. Once you invoke Ganesha in your life, this is what happens with you, because he is not only the removal of obstacles, but he himself is the obstacle, because he wants to test you. He will not allow you to meet his mother until you work on yourself, until you accept yourself the way you are, you reduce your ego. And once you do that, he's happy with you and he will allow you to meet his mother. From a neuroscience point of view, when you do meditation, your goal is to reach to a theta wave, and you can also go beyond that. And when you chant particular mantra, in this context, when you chant gum, 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 as a result, at least in my experience, what happens, your prefrontal cortex, it shuts down, and then it allows you to enter into theta wave, which is again the astral realm or subconscious mind. And this is where you start experiencing, this is where you connect with your own true self. Now, why Ganesha is needed then? Why any deity is needed? If we can do it, can we do it with anything? Yes, we can do it with anything. But the point is, the belief matters a lot here. That's why I say these myths are more real than real. When you perceive these myths from a conscious point of view, they are absurd. From an objective point of view, they are almost ridiculous. But when you switch the context, when you look at it from a subjective reality, they are more real than real. In what sense? Your ancestor, for others, they don't exist. But when you are truthful to yourself, you realize they exist through you. Subjectively, they exist for you. I can go in more detail, but today the purpose behind this video is just to give you some hint that try to perceive these things from a subjective realm, from a subconscious mind, or from a deep psychology point of view, and then the real fun begins. That's what I did, and now I worship Ganesha. I was a very non-religious person. I always call these things pseudoscience or they don't work, but once I understand them, Ganesha is always with me. If you come from a different culture, you have your own archetype of similar to Ganesha. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you understand it, you have belief in it, it takes place within you. This spirituality is a very personal journey. The mistake we do on this journey is either we believe in these religious dogmas, or we believe in scientific communities that they deny these dogmas, but in both cases we are just believing, we don't know it. Now, when it comes to your knowing, you need to have a scientific attitude towards your spiritual journey. When I say scientific attitude, take the example of Ganesha again. Now Ganesh Chaturthi is coming. Now when you understand the psychology behind Ganesha, and when you meditate upon Ganesha, with this subjective experience, you see the changes in your objective reality. If that is taking place, Ganesha is real for you. Ganesha works for you. Ganesha exists. If that is not happening, you are just pretending to be a worshipper of Ganesha. As long as you make sure that it's truly your reality, you don't have to prove it to anybody. That's what I wanted to convey to my first video for Project Light. In this journey of Project Light, we will explore other mythological characters. We will talk about numerology, astrology, sacred geometry, all those weapons, tools. They help us to live our life intentionally. That is the goal I have, and this is the beginning. On this auspicious day of Ganesh Chaturthi, I wanted to make a start of this journey. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please subscribe and we'll explore further.